On Airtel Touching Lives tonight, we confront the harsh realities of cancer from the eyes of a little girl. When Oghenekume Abraham Egona was just 6 years old, she was diagnosed with cancer of the bone.
When I bumped my leg, I started to feel better, but my brain told me it was cancer.
I was shocked because it's something I couldn't imagine.
Her parents had to make a choice that would affect their daughter's future forever.
I wanna touch your life. I wanna be the change. I'm gonna shine my light. I'm gonna make a difference. Touch your life. Be the change. Shine my light and make a difference. You're the one to make the world a much better place. You're the one, touching the one, touching lives.
Now, according to the World Health Organization, the sad reality of cancer in Nigeria is that of every 100,000 diagnoses, 70% will not survive. This is a very sad situation because it can be reduced with awareness, treatment, and early diagnosis. Now, Pillar is one of such lucky people who, through her parents' early diagnosis, came out survivors.
Touching the one, touching lives.
I was 7 years old, and it was around April. I was running, so I bumped into the wall.
So we massaged with balm, but she continued to limp. After that, the swelling increased. She was admitted at the hospital. And later in the day, when we saw the doctor, the orthopedic surgeon, he saw the X-ray and there was actually a tumor growing in the knee.
When I bumped my leg, I started to feel better, but my brain told me it was cancer.
I was shocked because it's something I couldn't imagine. I've never had any history of cancer in my family, not in my father's family, not in my maternal family. So I was shocked. As a mother, I was hoping and praying that it wouldn't be.
When she was diagnosed with cancer, what really went through my mind was how can a little girl of this age have cancer? Because at that time, she was 7 years old, you know. So I was wondering, how did cancer come up? So I was like confused, and I have to just put my faith in the hands of the doctors. We were able to get the cheapest rate from India. That's the Cancer Institute in Chennai, India. So at the time that I got that cost input, it was also on the other side for me to afford. So I had to go public and ask for people to help my daughter.
I made a decision that I would not let go. I just had to go out, whatever it would cost us, whatever it would take, we just had to save her life.
My child's life is priceless, and that's why I have to do everything I can to ensure she keep living.
So we're ready to lose anything, we're ready to do anything, and we went all out. When we knew that we could no longer continue, I had to drop my business, because we spent all. In December 2014, we flew to India in order to save Pillar's life. And when we arrived at Cancer Institute in Chennai, and it was reconfirmed that she had osteosarcoma. Then she started with chemotherapy. She was given the first round of chemotherapy in January, but that did not stop the spread of the cancer.
Being on chemotherapy makes me sick and lose a lot of weight.
6 months later, we had to make a life-changing decision for our daughter to amputate her leg or she dies.
When our siblings had the news that she has lost a whole leg, I know all our siblings started crying. I know as a parent, and my wife was not around, I had to educate the remaining siblings and tell them you need to show love to Pillar when Pillar comes back. Fine, she don't have the other leg, but you have to give her all the assistance she needs. She wants to pick this, quickly pick for her. She wants her food, quickly give her food. So for our siblings, they are highly cooperating with her, and they are majorly our friends.
It was not easy for her to walk again.
I never gave up hope because my mother was with me, and I loved her for that.
When Pilar came back in June, I am the one that went to pick her from the airport. On sighting her, she was first on a wheelchair because at that time she just finished her training on how to work with the prosthesis. So whenever she has a long distance to cover, she uses a wheelchair to cover the long distance and move a little distance with the prosthesis. So when she got to the park, she was able to use her prosthesis and walk around without anybody's support.
The prosthesis makes her feel confident. She doesn't feel out of place with her prosthesis because there won't be situations where her mates have to ask her, what happened to your leg? How come you have a limb instead of two?
Educational-wise, Pilar lost a full year due to the treatment plan, traveling here and there, moving from one local hospital to the other before she traveled to India. So she lost more than a year of her life, not having education. So for her to bounce back, she had to first lose a year in school and go back to the present point that she was when the occurrence started.
Getting a new prosthesis will enable her to do what other normal children can do.
The problem I have with my prosthesis now is that it's too small.
The prosthesis Pilar has is for a 7-year-old girl. Now Pilar is 9 and she's almost 10. She'll be 10 in December. So she has outgrown the prosthesis she had before. So she needs a bigger one. If Pilar doesn't receive fitting prosthesis, it will make her sad. It will make her uncomfortable. It will affect her health-wise and social-wise. She won't be able to get along with her friends. And even as members of our family, we will not be happy because we can only be happy when she's happy.
Having a prosthesis means I can be normal. I can be like everyone else.
As a father, I want to see my daughter happy, even though we try to encourage her many times that she can overcome this challenge. Ordinarily, I see that she's struggling so much with her present state. She's not comfortable at all. So the only way I can see her happy is to see her have a new prosthesis fixed to be able to make her be comfortable.
My message to parents of cancer survivors, especially those with disabilities, is that we should just go out for them. We should make sure we do our best for them. We should love them as before, if not more than before. Because I see it works for Pilar. You can never see her sad. She's always smiling. As parents, we should get closer to them than before and show them more than enough love. That even when they are outside, they will have confidence. Even if you don't love me, I know my family loves me.
I was tearing up just watching that. What a remarkable story of bravery and the unrelenting love of parents who refuse to give up. After the break, I will be joined by Pilar and her parents, as well as radiology expert, Mrs. Annie Marshall. Welcome back to Airtel Touching Lives. Joining me in the studio is Pilar, her parents, and radiation therapist, Mrs. Annie Marshall. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for being here. You are so brave. I was trying to hold tears just watching that documentary. I think the first thing I want to ask you is, how do you stay so positive and happy through everything that you've been through?
Because of the love my parents showed me.
Wow. It literally encapsulates everything that's, that she's experienced, love. And Mommy, I want to ask you, how did you deal with just watching your child sick, having to look after her? And I want to know about the process of, amputation.
It was not easy seeing her lying on the bed, ill and in pains. But I was able to go through because I believe in God. And with God, all things are possible. God saw me through because I had faith in him. I believe with God, I could do anything. So I held strong. And one thing kept me going. I knew Pilar was looking up to me and the dad for support. So I couldn't afford to break down. So when it was time for amputation, I just had to call her and talk to her and let her know why we had to go for amputation. So I explained everything to her, and she understood.
Well, what were the things that you told her? Because, she's so positive, and I think that is down to both of you. So what did you tell her to just keep her going and keep her smiling?
I remember calling her. I shared with her my experience about cancer patients. I gave her an example of a cancer patient we had in the same hospital we were then, a Nigerian who had a stomach cancer, but they couldn't go for surgery because there was nothing they could do. And I let her know that you have to thank God because the part that has been affected in your body can still be taken off so that you could live. So I let her realize the importance of the surgery. That is a life-saving one, not just a destructive surgery, like I first thought, because I told the doctors, this is a destructive surgery, and they enlightened me that this is not actually a destructive surgery, but a life-saving one.
Daddy, what was it like seeing your daughter go away and then coming back, with her leg amputated? I know you said you saw her in a wheelchair. What was that feeling like the first time for you?
Well, it's like a mind that has been prepared. Was prepared for the worst, that maybe the cancer can take away our little daughter. But, I believe in something, and that is being united in your conviction. My wife and myself, we are united in decisions, and we never see Pilar like a kid. We decided to carry her along, that for every decision that we're going to make concerning her, she should be the primary person to take that decision. So my seeing her on a wheelchair when she came, I was not feeling bad at all because it's just the logistics personnel for Etihad Airways that helped her from the craft to the park because she just she just underwent the training on how to use the processes. And the cost input in staying in India was on the high side. So immediately she finished her training, she had to come back home. So I didn't feel bad seeing her on the wheelchair because I know she will walk. So I've seen the training, I've seen the video while I'm at home in Nigeria. So it's just a temporary thing being on the wheelchair, just for that day alone. Ever since then, Pilar has been working on her 2 legs, one natural, one artificial. But the beauty is, if you don't know her to the house, when she goes on the street, you assume she's walking on the 2 legs. So it's been a lot of joy. We've overcome all this now, and really thank God.
Mrs. Animashaun, the numbers when it comes to cancer diagnosis seems to keep going up. Is there any particular reason with regards to Nigeria? Do we have a predisposition to certain kinds of cancers? I just want you to give us a sort of enlightened view of cancer and its treatments as well.
The incidence of cancer is growing because we're eating a lot more processed food in Nigeria than our parents did. Everything is more, it's not as organic as it was before. That's why there was a lot more cancer in developed countries than in Nigeria because their food was processed more than ours. Now we're going towards that way. That's one. And then another thing is that people are becoming more aware. So people who didn't know they actually had the cancer, and they died from it, but it was never diagnosed. those people are being aware now and they realize that they have the cancer and are coming out. So those numbers are increasing from those two main factors, really, right now.
What are some of the main causes of cancer? Because, you know, with Pillar's situation, she said she hits her leg and you just thought, I guess they thought it was a sprain or just some kind of fracture or something of that sort. People might be watching and think, you know, if I hit my leg somewhere, if something traumatic happens to my body, then it's possible that this could happen. I want you to really elaborate a bit more about that.
Well, in Pillar's case, who is actually my current hero, she's such a fantastic young lady. In her case, the falling actually was probably a lucky break for her. She most likely already had, she did already have the cancer, and the falling and the wound brought it out. It could still have been growing and they would not be aware of it. So that's where their faith and God being in control helped to manifest it quickly. Because with cancer, the earlier that it is diagnosed, the earlier the treatment is started, the better the outcome is. And this is a typical example of what should be done.
Pillar, you're certainly a hero to every single one of us here and every single person watching at home as well. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you to Mrs. Anima Shaon for sharing her expertise and her knowledge about cancer and its treatment. Don't forget, if you, of course, want to find out more about today's topic on the program, please go to the website. It's airteltouchinglives.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Pillar has had to go through more in her 9 years than many would have gone through in their entire lifetime. She's dealt with cancer, lost a leg, and learned to walk again. I'm still joined in the studio with Pillar and her parents. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So you were talking about her needing, a prosthesis as well. Or some people would say, she already has one, so why does she need another one?
She had a prosthesis when she was 7. And at that time, while Pillar was healed, she lost so much weight. So after recovering from the illness, she started to grow healthily like a normal child. So she has already outgrown the prosthesis.
Thank you very, very much for coming on the program today. You are definitely my own hero. And I know that everybody at home who is watching is going to say Pillar is our hero. And you're literally your name, Pillar. You are a pillar to every single one of us. And thank you for the love that you show her. You are just an example of what love and care and support and attention can do for a young child and her self-esteem and her growth as well. And Airtel will like to touch your life. As we are Airtel Touching Lives, we want to touch your life. And so what Airtel is going to do, we will be paying for Pillar to visit a prosthetic surgeon, all right, and doctors who, of course, on their recommendation, she'll get a prosthesis right here in Nigeria.
That's a wonderful thing I need to hear. Something I have to say that it's like a miracle, because I've had people's life been touched by Airtel a long time from now, and I've been watching the program. I must confess to you, because I'm here, I always think it's a frame. Maybe a kind of setup. Maybe it's not really people benefiting, but I must confess to the old Nigerians that my family never knew anybody in Airtel. I nominated my daughter, and it is a thing of joy for me to hear that you need to imagine what I went through before this time to raise about 18 million naira to save my daughter. It's not my doing, I don't have any money. I was going here and there, you can imagine the pain, begging people, relying on people, moving from one spot to the other. Sometimes you are abased, some people call you names. So I want to thank Airtel Touching Life so much, because I'm just trying to be in control of myself as a man, but ordinarily, the word touching lives is really, really impacting my family today. I must confess to you that my family is very happy, and I don't know how to express my joy right now. I just believe that every Nigerian should know that Airtel is real and they are true. They are not acting. They are really touching lives. And I must confess that of all corporate bodies I've come across in Nigeria, Airtel is number one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mommy, how do you feel?
I've been so worried. I've been troubled. Anytime I see her struggling, I'm always sad. But now, I'm so happy and I'm so grateful to Airtel for touching our lives so great. I'm really, 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 really happy.
So how do you feel?
I'll be happy to be on the new processes, so I'll be able to play, run, do sport activities, and I'll be able to climb stairs as well.
As Mommy, I'm sure Mommy will say, no rough playing though. Yeah? You promise me, Abby?
Yes.
Yeah, high five. You guys are such an inspiration. You are my hero. I'm sure you are the hero of everybody else that is watching this show today.
Thank you.
And thank you again so much for all the love and just for being an example to Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
What an inspiring family to have on the show. I just want you to remember that both breast and cervical cancer are quite common in women and testicular cancer is quite common in men. Please do make sure you read up as much as you can on self-examination or just visit a doctor if you're unsure about anything. Remember, there are also lifestyle choices involved. As we always say, early detection is key. You all have a wonderful night. Goodbye.
Since the recording of this episode, Pilar's family has learned that her cancer has returned. Airtel has redirected their assistance towards Pilar's cancer treatment, and we wish her a speedy recovery.
In season 2, we meet Hannah Enakwapo, a 6-year-old whose heart condition was preventing her from leading a normal life.
If he's coming before he will work out for a year, he's very tired. And the problem is so dangerous for my daughter.
We revisit her 9 months after her life-changing operation. And for young orphan Taiwo Simbiat, life with her grandmother is hard.
The day I got to their house, she was lying down there.
She was virtually bedridden.
Without immediate intervention, her future looks bleak.
I wanna touch your life. I wanna be the change. I'm gonna shine my